project planning and control based on CPM, critical path method, and PERT, program evaluation. Review technique, networking techniques. Definition of CPM. Critical path method, CPM, is a method used in project planning, generally for project scheduling for the on-time completion of the project. It actually helps in the determination of the earliest time by which the whole project can be completed. There are two main concepts in this method, namely critical task and critical path. Critical task is the task activity which can't be delayed, otherwise the completion of the whole project will be delayed. It must be completed on time before starting the other dependent tasks. Critical path is a sequence of critical tasks, activities, and is the largest path in the project network. It gives us the minimum time which is required to complete the whole project. The activities in the critical path are known as critical activities, and if these activities are delayed, then the completion of the whole project is also delayed. Major steps of the critical path method. 1. Identifying the activities. 2. Construct the project network. 3. Perform time estimation using forward and backward pass. 4. Identify the critical path. The table given below contains the activity label, its respective duration, in weeks, and its precedence. We will use critical path method to find the critical path and activities of this project. Rules for designing the activity on node network diagram. 1. A project network should have only one start node. 2. A project network should have only one end node. 3. A node has a duration. 4. Links normally have no duration. 5. Precedence are the immediate preceding activities. 6. Time moves from left to right in the project network. 7. A network should not contain loops. 8. A network should not contain dangles. Node representation. 1. Activity label is the name of the activity represented by that node. 2. Earliest start is the date or time at which the activity can be started at the earliest. 3. Earliest finish is the date or time at which the activity can completed at the earliest. 4. Latest start is the date or time at which the activity can be started at the latest. 5. Latest finish is the date or time at which the activity can be finished at the latest. 6. Float is equal to the difference between earliest start and latest start, or earliest finish and latest finish. Identifying critical path. Critical path is the path which gives us or helps us to estimate the earliest time in which the whole project can be completed. Any delay to an activity on this critical path will lead to a delay in the completion of the whole project. In order to identify the critical path, we need to calculate the activity float for each activity. Activity float is actually the difference between an activity's earliest start and its latest start date, or the difference between the activity's earliest finish and its latest finish date. And it indicates that how much the activity can be delayed without delaying the completion of the whole project. If the float of an activity is 0, then the activity is an critical activity and must be added to the critical path of the project network. Definition of PERT. PERT is an acronym for Program, Project, Evaluation and Review Technique, in which planning, scheduling, organizing, coordinating and controlling uncertain activities take place. The technique studies and represents the tasks undertaken to complete a project, to identify the least time for completing a task and the minimum time required to complete the whole project. It was developed in the late 1950s. It is aimed to reduce the time and cost of the project. PERT uses time as a variable which represents the planned resource application along with performance specification. In this technique, first of all, the project is divided into activities and events. After that, proper sequence is ascertained, and a network is constructed. After that, time needed in each activity is calculated and the critical path, longest path connecting all the events, is determined. Difference between PERT and CPM. Project management can be understood as a systematic way of planning, scheduling, executing, monitoring, controlling the different aspects of the project, so as to attain the goal made at the time of project formulation. PERT and CPM are the two network-based project management techniques, which exhibit the flow and sequence of the activities and events. Program, project, management and review. Technique, PERT, is appropriate for the projects where the time needed to complete different activities are not known. On the other hand, the critical path method or CPM is apt for the projects which are recurring in nature. The two scheduling methods use a common approach for designing the network and for ascertaining its critical path. They are used in the successful completion of a project and hence used in conjunction with each other. Nevertheless, the truth is that CPM is different from PERT in a way that the latter concentrates on time while the former stresses on the time-cost trade-off. In the same manner, there are many differences between PERT and CPM, which we are going to discuss in this article. Key differences between PERT and CPM. The most important differences between PERT and CPM are provided below. 1. PERT is a project management technique, whereby planning, scheduling, organizing, coordinating and controlling uncertain activities are done. CPM is a statistical technique of project management in which planning, scheduling, organizing, coordination and control of well-defined activities take place. 2. PERT is a technique of planning and control of time. Unlike CPM, which is a method to control costs and time. 3. While PERT is evolved as a research and development project, CPM evolved as a construction project. 4. PERT is set according to events while CPM is aligned towards activities. 5. A deterministic model is used in CPM. Conversely, PERT uses a probabilistic model. 6. There are 3 times estimates in PERT, i.e. optimistic time, 2. Most likely time trademark, pessimistic time, TP. On the other hand, there is only one estimate in CPM. 7. PERT technique is best suited for a high precision time estimate, whereas CPM is appropriate for a reasonable time estimate. 8. PERT deals with unpredictable activities, but CPM deals with predictable activities. 9. PERT is used where the nature of the job is non-repetitive. In contrast to, CPM involves the job of repetitive nature. 10. There is a demarcation between critical and non-critical activities in CPM, which is not in the case of PERT. 11. PERT is best for research and development projects, but CPM is for non-research projects like construction projects. 12. Crashing is a compression technique applied to CPM, to shorten the project duration, along with the least additional cost. The crashing concept is not applicable to PERT.